Greetings and salutations, everyone. It is time for another series of videos here over on twitch.tv/SamusGuerrero. Of course, here on youtube.com/SamusGuerrero. Hope you guys enjoy it. This will be a little bit of a longer one. We're going to knock out all of the Walkups. Now, normally when I talk about Walkups, I usually also include Bargain of Blood, just because it's the same level as the majority of the Walkups, and I exclude one of the desert quests that that drops off the filaments, or seal of the soul or whatever, one of the seals. But we'll probably go ahead and knock them all out this go around. So let's get our cleric summoned. Let's actually switch off of fire damage, since we're in the big fire quest here.
Through the halls of this lonely shrine.
In fact, from a realistic point of view, we probably should have considered not being fire-based at all this quest. But I don't want to have to switch things around a whole bunch, so we'll just pretend like we're not. We'll try to remember not to fire off our rune arm either, or not our rune arm, but fire spells like Scorch and Firewall. We've been actually hitting them pretty heavily. The last couple of quests have been good shots for them. Let's fire off one of these, see if we get lucky. Nope. See, there's our Purge. There's the first of our. Alright, hopefully that'll kill that guy. Not sure what the demons, what kind of hit points he's got. To be perfectly honest, looks like I got him though. Not too bad. So we want to be sure to turn these on, and you can use a hireling to turn them on, but you have to be very careful that they actually do get turned, like toggled, because the animation sometimes doesn't light up. But if you can still highlight them, then they're not. Am I just gonna stand corrected? Can you turn them back off? I thought these were once you turn them on, they're untargetable. Okay, you can target them, but you can't interact with them again. Alright, that's how it was. Like, I'm pretty sure you toggle them on once and you're good to go. You can't undo it. Be sure to keep an eye out. There's a chest that likes to float around one of these alcoves. I always tell this story about how my first Vorpal weapon came out of one of these chests ages ago, way back in the Wayback Machine when they first introduced Vorpals. While everybody else was running much quicker quests, I pulled, I believe, a Vorpal. It's either a Bastard Sword or a Dwarven Axe. It was definitely an exotic weapon. I don't think it was a falchion, because I would have been excited about that. But I'm pretty sure it was a Bastard Sword or a Dwarven Axe. And that was it. That was my first Vorpal for my only Vorpal for a long time, actually. Here we got a Famine Reaper to deal with. Easy. Other than just remembering that you hit these torches, there's not really that much to this quest. There's a shrine along the way, but other than that, it's pretty straightforward. It's a straight line. There's no like turn. Well, there's one turn. There's a position a spot where you can turn left or right, but they both go to the same thing. It's just a circle. So whichever way you go, you do a half circle and carry on. So it's not what I would call like a tricky point in the quest. I don't know how they keep all these fire methods alive so deep down in a cave. You would think that fire methods in particular would need oxygen to stay alive, to keep their fires going. These guys with the fire in the middle, they're demons, right? I can kind of get behind the fact that they need air. Or maybe that's why they have these other demons, because they're the fire elementals when their fires are put out, maybe? I don't know. The fire ones when the fires are out. But man, I do not understand why the fire methods can fly around. Because as they sit there and burn up the oxygen just with their existing, it's not like you're above ground. It's easy to replace all that oxygen, right? Like, definitely below ground here. Like way down. In fact, how are we even walking around out here? We're not like instantly in a unconscious because there's no air. This place should just be full to the brim with CO2. Do with our Famine Reaper before. Alright, let's grab a heal. See if we can't spot. Now we can't spot anything. It's like if we could spot something while we're waiting for the hireling to be able to give us a heal, that would have been amazing. At least it was a dust method that was an ice soul and not a fire method that was an ice soul. We encountered a ice soul.
The hero lies here in repose, his mummified body, a dark figure rising.
Oh my goodness, I can't think of it. Scarecrow earlier today. We happen to still be running in fire mode. So much damage. Alright, so 12,000 experience in 7 minutes with what appears to be 435 Reaper experience. Pretty good. Again, we're not breaking any land speed records here, but it's not our solo, it's not our goal. Oh, our improved degeneration ticked on. Nice. Alright, so we're going to keep going. We're just going to knock out all the
final resting place of our once great hero.
All of the walk about this. I want to resummon the horse, but I don't want Durham to be under attack here. Alright. Always forget about that rune arm charge thing. That really needs to be fixed. Hopefully they'll fix it in this update. If they turn off auto attack, they could turn off the rune arm charging as well. Alright. What? Man, can't ride your horse anywhere these days. Bad neighborhoods everywhere you go. Something to keep in mind is that there's a adventures pack in this. Should have grabbed it earlier. A house sealed letter. It's good for nothing, but ooh, a house sealed letter. Alright, so I mentioned a minute ago that I had done this quest on level, but I think instead I'm going to go ahead and add it here in this chain instead. So keep in mind that when we talk about this quest, this is with a repeat penalty.
This tomb is
so I think we're just going to do it on Elite instead of Reaper. We did do it once already on Reaper, so this will be the most experience for our for our buck right now, once we walked it down. But this will still give you an idea of how to do the quest. If maybe not the hardest difficulty. So, there's always a little ambush right here. I'm going to switch back to fire mode as well. Little fire ambush right there. We have a couple invokers. We're going to come up to an optional here, basically around the next corner, I think. Might be the corner after that. Then a corner or two. Pretty close to the beginning of the quest, there's a... This one, the next corner. There's an optional here. Be sure to keep an eye out for your collectibles. Particularly at this level range. In the 10 to 14 range, you want to keep a real eye out on them. They tend to be pretty valuable. In fact, I literally right before we started the streaming today, I ended up sending to Brel 5 fragrant drow shields. I'd have to double check the level range. Here's that optional I was talking about. I have to double check the level range, but I believe that we are in the window range that some of these things are possible, not super likely. Again, I always recommend jumping over to the DDO wiki if you would like to get an understanding of how anything in particular works, including the correct collectible generation. Alright, so on Reaper mode, that champ right there can be or that optional can be a real bear. But just try to be patient. And I tell you, you forget what it's like playing on other modes when you spend all your time in Reaper.
This decrepit chamber was built to hold the remains of the servants.
The quests are pretty different. Alright, so I usually don't do this breakables optional. I sometimes do this one. I did it last time, so I'm going to do it again. But basically, I ran in here, and then I ran around the corners to get all of these junk zombies, concubines, or whatever they were, to chase me into the firewall. Anything that wants to run itself into the firewall is I'm down with. Again, this quest also is level 12, I believe. Yeah, 12 on Elite. So just keep in mind that we're not going to be spawning all the best loot and the most optionals.
A vile creature leaps from the shadows, bent on rending your flesh apart with its claws.
Alright, we got the funk. So we'll just summon our hireling. Chest is locked. See if Durham wants to help us out. Doesn't look like he does, so we'll just have him give us a heal and we'll drink a curse potion so it doesn't come back. If you get the mummy rot, you gotta fix the mummy rot and then remove the curse. Just keep that in mind. Storm Wolf, good evening. Alright, so this should basically connect these two tunnels together. The south tunnel and the north tunnel. Alright, I'm also going to be really honest. Usually where this guy is, where this shrine is at, or this chest is at, where I left Durham, is typically where I personally find the infight guy. You're not always going to find him in a particular spot. He does wiggle. No, they wiggle both in this quest and the other one. You gotta look for that main barrier
These
chamber.
dusty chambers contain the mummified bodies of soldiers.
Okay, apparently not here though. Apparently they're just getting me all excited.
Hey man, how goes it?
Hey Rhett, what's up? Just recording. I don't remember what the name of this quest is. Chamber of Rahmat.
Oh, out in the sands.
Yeah, we're doing all the sand walk-ups real fast.
Not the physician stirs from his resting place.
Right. Loot all this fat treasure. Grab another copy of this seal just for no reason other than it gives us 161 experience points. And let's get out of here. Again, remember this particular quest didn't give us all that much experience, but that's because we did not do it on our first time bonus,
This
and we
tomb
did not
is the resting place of Rahmat the physician.
do it for the first time on Reaper either. So we already cashed in those this life. Alright, now it's right over to, I believe it's a physician? No, that was the physician's tomb. Yeah, so we're going to ride over to this guy instead.
Is the other one the astrologist?
Astrologer, yeah, the astrologist. That's right, he's going to do our horoscope for us. It's going to be great.
Within this ancient structure lies the tomb of the astrologer.
So what have you been up to?
Oh, slowly getting through this epic life.
Slowly getting through the 7th life?
Epic life.
Ah.
Trying to get all the slayers prepped and the sagas prepped, so whenever we epic TR, we can jump back up again. Just tedious work.
As you begin your ascent into the tomb's inner chamber, you feel the walls start to close in and your heart race in your chest.
Alright, so I can't tell you why. Some quests I always go right, some quests I always go left. This is a quest that I always go left. I don't have a good reason for that. Other than I guess I just have always had good luck going this way, I guess. And I guess you could also say not always good luck, but it's the way that I go, so. Alright, we should have an optional up here. In particular that we're leaving as we walk away from that corner.
This decrepit chamber was built to hold the remains of the servant class.
Way back when, again, in the Wayback Machine, you could cast invisibility in this quest. And you could basically run in here, loot that chest. As you open the chest, recast invisibility, loot that chest. Once the chest is open, you don't break your stealth on it to loot it, and then you could just recall back out without completing the quest or anything. So this actually was a pretty great little loot run for a lot of people. Especially those who had the ability to
These
cast
chambers contain the
invisibility
mummified
like
bodies
at
of
will or
soldiers
basically
and
at
elite
will.
citizens.
And we're often like poor. I will fully admit that I have spent I've been a little bit shy on some coin in the day and use this as a quick little loot run. You ran said that chest back in the day in like 2 minutes. Earn probably not too much now, but back when gold was the standard instead of platinum was the standard, you could probably earn pretty close to 250,000 gold in that 2 minutes. which was quite a bit. 200,000, so in that ballpark. Looting that chest and selling the contents. And we're definitely getting a couple of little lag spikes here. I'm seeing attack animations with no attacks.
Yeah, just access a TR bank. You're welcome.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
I'm here for you.
Get a heal, fix this slow as well. You know, the reason why I play this late is so nobody's touching the TR cache. Alright, we peek in, see if there's a bad man. When there's not, we just leave. Just leave. Durham may or may not engage. Alright, so we get an altar, we get another altar, and then we get a little adventurer's bag. And then we back up a second and take the tunnel. Alright, sorry about that. We have a cat that is not eating. He's like 13 or 14 maybe. So he's still, other than the not eating, acts pretty healthy for the most part. So he's probably on his way out. He is getting up there in cat years.
Yeah, so one of my puppy dogs diagnosed with thyroid cancer.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, he's had a good life.
Yeah, it's a thing
He's
that
gonna ride it out and
happens a
see
lot.
what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I told the wife, it's like, well, maybe we need to talk about making sure he's got a peaceful ending. She's like, I don't know if he's there yet. I'm like, well, if he's not eating, he'll be there pretty soon. So she came in and she forgot that she wanted to get some soft canned food to try to entice him into eating. So it may end up making a Walmart run a little bit later this evening to buy some cat food. Alright, looks like we found it. Always remember to keep looking. Oh, we got double Reaper here too. Always remember to keep looking after you find a guy so you can be sure that he's in the second to last place you looked. There's nothing more cliched than having the bad guy be in the last place you looked.
Kourush, the astrologer, rises from his slumber and shambles toward you.
Is he behind me? Nope. Alright. My neck. Alright, so that was 7 minutes. There was a lot of running around in there. Let's see. Looks like it only gave us 7,000 experience, 6,574, or something like that. But it gave us 400 Reaper experience, so pretty okay. We'll take it. Again, back in the day, both of these walk-ups would take literally. You would invis, find the bad guy like Zerg to where the bad guy was, and then cast like 2 firewalls and a fireball, and you would have won the quest. Oh, what do you think? Should we try for a bloodstone while we're here? Normally my answer would be no.
So I've never pulled one, but I've been very lucky on spell storing rings, so I can't complain.
I literally pulled 2 spell storing rings on the hardcore server and a bloodstone the first time in the desert back from the hardcore server.
And both my spell storing rings came on the same day, and then after that I was like, okay, I'm done. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I pulled 3 in the same day, and I didn't
Nice.
get any. I didn't get any for years, and then I farmed 2 up on the hardcore server. I feel like that was fine. It was a reasonable way to do it.
Are you gonna participate this go round?
Probably. I mean, I assume that they're going to change the rewards enough that it is valuable to do so. With the since it's not going to be against the Reapers, it's going to be with Harry. So we'll have to see what they're doing besides nerfing range to make the hardcore server a little bit more exciting. Alright, so the Firebrand Mines. This is another one that continues to be pretty fast. It is not the fastest of the chain, but this is also the one that's the most confusing for people, I think. And we'll show you the quickest way I know how to do it.
The air in the mine is thick with choking fumes.
They need to add a saga to that.
With coal dust.
The desert stuff? Maybe. I don't know. I'm not as worried about the deserts are pretty... I feel like they're pretty well done. Most of them are pretty efficient with the exception of Chains of Pain. But otherwise I feel like the quest is pretty solid. For the quest are solid, the experience is pretty well handled correctly. Alright, so here we're going to have a slight disadvantage because we still have our fire stuff turned on, but we can switch that with mostly a click of a button. Alright, Uncut Ruby over here. You have to hit enough of these breakables to get the required gems, in which case most of them are 2 of each item, so you can just go into the in the first offshoot and clean them up. However, if you have the ones that are 4, you do have to go a little bit more because they only drop 1 room at a time. Alright, so you may have also noticed that I went around so I could go up and hit those fire rubies, and then I walked to the edge of that ramp where I went into the fire ruby room, and I fell down a floor. What that'll do is it'll take me to the back way here, and we can kind of just make like a C pattern to kind of clean things up. There's a couple of variations depending on whether or not you're comfortable killing Fear Reapers on a given line. Or not Fear Reapers, Rust Monsters. So there are 5 of these black iron ores. 1 in each little hole. But there are 5 little holes that you can get them from. So if you don't think you can kill the rust monsters, it's fairly easy to kind of skip it and just take out some more gnolls. If you don't think it's a big deal to clean up the rust monsters, then it does shave a little bit of backtracking off of your clock, as well as the fact that there's just physically less monsters to kill. So like there's, I don't know, 7 gnolls or 8 gnolls that way, as opposed to and then either way you go, I believe in the end here there will be 2. So you have 1 in each of the first 2 spots, and then I believe 2 here in these last 2. Oh no. I was wrong this time. This time there's not going to be 2 in there. We are going to have to backtrack and do the other one. For shame. For shame. That means there must have been 2 in one of these other ones. It's very rare that that happens, but it can. As I just believe, I guess. And it had to be that first one too. Because we blew up all the things in the second one. Yeah, see, there's 2 on that one. So there's always 2 with 2. Alright, and now we're at the very bottommost section. So if you make some weird jump and you end up falling in the lava, this is where you need to go. You need to swim back, relax, swim over here, go up that direction into the lava. Don't do anything crazy. Jump from here to here. Clean out the earth elementals. Pick up the 2 uncut fire opals we need. Loot our chest. And we just head back to the end fight. Quest is very quick, again, especially if you can split things up. Everything where you have to like gather so many muskrat parts, mushroom caps, whatever you wanna, however you wanna think of it. We're keeping the video clean, but however you wanna consider picking up gather quests. Alright, sweet. We can do this lag thing. There'll be a Janeth over here, and there'll be another one over here. So that's how you complete the quest. Now, that was almost 15,000 experience. We were definitely in this quest for not very long, 6 minutes. Now, if you decide that you would like to get the optional and the chest up here, the optional is not a challenge, right? The optional is just kill this guy. Although a lot of them did just hit us really hard. However, looting the chest is actually more difficult than getting the guy, I feel. Because you have all these miscellaneous mobs that do their best to shoot arrows at you. However, if you summon your hireling directly on top of you... Oh, nope. Nope, you gotta get a heal first. You can sometimes open it while you're, like, kneeling. The hireling's on top of you, and it'll take the hits for you. But it looks like we were taking a lot more hits than we probably should. And now the hireling's no longer standing on us. So again, normally I don't bother with that shrine unless I'm just feeling the cash crunch. Which you do sometimes feel depending on what life you just ran. For the most part, I just skip it. Get recalled out of here, and we'll pony ride across the galaxy. I'm going to ride past Offering of Blood. I did a video on how to get to Offering of Blood, but I'm going to ride past it anyway, because normally when I were to do this quest, I would do this at the same time. I would do all these at level 13. Is that right? Yeah, at level 13, because they're all base 11. But we ended up doing Necro 3 this life instead of the Desert Walkups, so we got some things shoved a little bit further around.
High above the scar, this narrow bridge is an ideal perch for combating intruders.
So again, 9 times out of 10, we'd be going down this walk-up right here. Or not a walk-up. It's technically not a walk-up. It's a flagging quest. But again, because they're all, it's one level lower than the other flagging quests, and it is the same level as the walk-ups out here. I tend to do it with the walk-ups. Okay. So now we super clarified that. Let's pony ride this direction. See if I can't pick up this roost with the pony. It looks like we might be able to.
For one
Nice.
hoping to end their existence, a ledge this high up is the perfect place to leap from.
Alright, I always go down this canyon. I should say always. I generally go down this canyon. I usually do an explorer run at some point while leveling up too, because again, I find them to be very soothing and something I can do while having a conversation about something else entirely. And it just makes a nice flow, for lack of other words there. It's just
This immense cavern is
something to do, so I don't have to go top to clean up explorer points or anything normally. So you can just finish up Offering of Blood and then run down into the hole. I'm gonna go ahead and buff. We're probably gonna get dispelled like hundreds of times.
Shadows scuffling against the walls and the air is
That's okay.
filled with the incessant chipping of
We're gonna irritate everything. We're not gonna stop. We'll stop when we're like yellow alert. Maybe green alert if we're feeling like a little frisky, or we find a Reaper, or that has to be dealt with. But everything else will just keep moving. Basically shoot what's in front of us, and then if there's something behind us that we have to deal with, then we'll stop and deal with it a little bit, but mostly ride, pony ride.
The scorpion hot-headed whines, barks, and
Alright, so here's the Knoll optional. I did it last life just to kind of show people who hadn't seen it in a long time, but we're going to go ahead and do it for the training video as well. 9 times out of 10, again, I would skip it. It just happened to be in the back-to-back lives where we're at the 2 out of the 20 where we ended up doing them 2 lives in a row. And it's basically the same thing. We're just gonna shoot all the gnolls. We already got our big experience here, but we'll clean out all these guys and get our treasure chest. Treasure chest this way. Yeah, there it is. This one may actually be one of the faster of the desert quests, even after the Reaper changes. You do have to do some backtracking, which I'm not a fan of, but if you're quick, it's not really that much of an issue. We got a Plague Reaper behind us, so that's always a good time. Alright, so I'm going to do my best to show you a trick here, but I'm also going to get my hireling ready in case I cannot do it. So, you get as far away as you possibly can, and then basically, if you move, like jump, hop, whatever you want to call it, around, when you're about, say, 70% done pulling the lever, the animation will continue, letting you move to the next lever. We'll see if we can do it again here. Oh, see, I was too far that time. It might just be barely too much lag to hold it off today. Oh, we got it. Sometimes you have to do some skipping around. If you have a hireling with you, obviously just consider using your hireling as a helper to pull both the levers at the same time. It is much quicker. Oh, interrupted ourselves too soon. So you have to be past where it wants to interrupt and still within the point where it's willing to forgive you a little bit. Alright, backtracking, going through the place we haven't been. Be sure to call any and all soul of ices that you see ice souls, just so they know how you feel about them. That's how I live my life. Wow, we're gonna have a hireling that's gonna be helpful today.
That's not possible.
Well, alright. He tricked us. He ran around the corner, he pulled the lever, but he was not where he was supposed to be, and now I'm pulling the lever wrong.
You can't just throw out accusations like that.
Well, I don't know. He was doing a good job. I thought he was there for us today. I think he meant to be. Oh man, we're still running around with a featherfall on. No wonder we're not killing things quicker.
I hear that featherfall's not really optimal.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan. I only wear it when I absolutely positively have to have it. Doesn't contribute to your DPS. Gives things an opportunity to AoE you down. It's not for me.
Yeah, I guess I didn't just put much thought into it.
Alright, so that's 10,000 experience in 7 minutes. We definitely could shave time off by skipping the optional, and of course we'd basically cut our time almost in half if we could have had a second person go down the other tunnel. But so be it.
The bottom of
Alright,
this immense
so that's the
cavern
last of the
forms
walk-ups.
a
Again, I would
deadly
normally have
Vulkoorim.
done Offering of Blood as part of this, but I'll record that separately so you guys can find those videos on their own. But I want to talk about a couple of things that go along with this quest chain. So first of all, or these walk-ups, first of all, you're going to get these really handy quest items here. And you want to keep those for when you're doing Wizard King. Seal of the Heavens and Seal of the Soul. Second thing, you're also going to end up with all these uncut gems in your backpack. If you talk to this guy, he will cut these to you in exchange for an appropriate gem. I normally just throw them away because I'm not going to sit there and take however many minutes to go through each of those options, to go through every gem that I picked up. But you're totally welcome to do so. And then a lot of the walk-ups, you'll just talk to this dude right here. So you can pick up several in rewards at a time. I will never use that, but somebody could. Guilder Noun it is. Pearl of Power, level 10. I will take that just for the 9 points of sentient experience.
I wonder what you'll pick.
And then there'll be one more walk up here to turn in. And there you go. Those are all the walk-ups together. I hope you enjoyed it. I will make sure I get the videos listed. As always, please slam those like, subscribe, and follow buttons. We'll see you again really soon. Toodles.